All right, greetings, family. Minister Kojo Shishabaz from the Aboriginal Republic of North America, Hawaii Region 6, DFW. In this video, we're just going to be going over just some of the basics of the nationality document package that you received as a national, and just to make sure that we have a general understanding, and just so that you understand exactly what it is that you are doing and exactly what you're working with. So, in conjunction with working with your local jurist that brought you into the plebiscite, we're just making sure that in case maybe there's something you maybe forgot, or maybe you didn't write down, or maybe you lost the notes or something like that, that this video will help you, along with the other videos that Dr. Ali Muhammad has also put out for the nationality videos, and make sure that everybody understands this, right? So let's go ahead and go to my computer screen. Make sure everybody sees this right here. Make sure this is big enough. Okay, y'all. So, in this as you can see, there's going to be a list of documents that you're going to have. But before we get there, you should have received instructions on the documents, right? Now, I know this is a big thing, and it is a big thing because you're claiming your nationality and becoming part of a body politic, right? In a tribal government, right? So, the thing with that you're going to be getting is we need to make sure that you read, and make sure you follow instructions, right? So there's going to be some things that you might see that maybe things weren't broken down to you, by your jurist, and that's okay. Or maybe there's something you missed. This is what this video is about. So documents you should have received is a certificate of Indigenous American Tribal Nationality Citizenship, along with the Tribal Citizen Declaration. Now, with the Certificate of Indigenous American Tribal Nationality Citizenship, this document you're going to keep as evidence of claiming your nationality and being part of the Shiamaru tribal government. This one is notarized and stamped and sealed by your jurist already. And then the second document, the tribal citizenship. Oh, go back to the first one. So all you would need to do on that certificate of Indigenous American tribal nationality is to sign the document, keep it in a safe place, right? Now, with the second document, you're going to get this notarized in the foreign venue. So, whether it's a bank, whether it's the local county, whoever, or a mobile notary, whoever is like, to make sure that they're in good standing as a notary in the foreign jurisdiction or USA, you get it notarized. You don't have to get it authenticated at this point. Just having the document notarized is good enough. If you want to get it authenticated and it's easy for you to do, you can go ahead and do that, but it's not really required, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the name correction. And we'll actually go through these documents just to make sure that you know exactly what we're talking about. So the name correction. This is for when you're making your name within, or your name correction within our jurisdiction, and it's documented and sealed in our jurisdiction, right? So this one you're going to see that you're going to have to sign in a couple of different places, which we'll show you, and then keep it, file away, and keep it for your record. Genealogy report is where we do a basic genealogy just to make sure that you meet the just solely and just sanguineous requirements. So all you would need to do is sign on the second page, and then you're good to go, right? And then we have the cancellation of birth certificate, right? So it's going to have where the jurist has inputted your 14th Amendment citizen name, or your birth certificate name, or your straw man, however you want to refer it to, but it's just your old name, right? And then it's also entered in place for your new name, which is your Aboriginal name that that you declared, and things of that nature. And you're going to sign in the initial in the appropriate places, and then sign in the appropriate places with your old name and new name. But you don't do any of that until you actually have a notary in front of you, right? So you're going to get a notary in the U.S. jurisdiction or the foreign jurisdiction, and they're going to look at a couple of different things. They're going to look at your ID that has your old name on it, and then they're going to look at your tribal ID, which has your new name, and then that'll be suffice for them to notarize the document for you, and you'll sign in the appropriate places and initialize, right? So that's all you do there. Then you have the trust summary. Now this is it's going to have the cover sheet, It's a record of all of your property as the trustor or the grantor that's going to be transferred over to your beneficiary or your Aboriginal name, right? So this one is to have on record, not have on record, but keep on hand just in case somebody's like, "Oh, do you actually have a trust?" And you're like, "Yes, I do. Here it is," right? And you can modify and make changes to this document because remember, it's your trust. But keep in mind, this is something that it's been stamped and sealed, so you're good to go, right? And you can make addendums to the existing document because remember, it's your trust. Now, the trust agreement in full edition. This one is something that you never show anybody, only to the ones that you are trusting, your loved ones, that are according to your estate planning or your will. But this is something you don't, take to the bank and say, "Let me see your trust." No, you show them the trust summary, right? And with that being said, on this document, you just need to sign in the appropriate place, and then you're good to go. And then once you actually gone through the process of changing your name, I know I'm skipping from changing your name because there's a purpose. Once you actually gone through the process of changing your name in the U.S. jurisdiction, so basically you would need to go into your local county and fill out the petition for name change, as well as all the other documentation that's required, right? Such as um, they required maybe some fingerprinting to do a background check to make sure that you don't owe any taxes, you're not running from the law, and things of that nature. That's the reason why they're collecting all this information and they ask you particular questions within this process of changing your name in the U.S. jurisdiction. And the other thing you need to make sure to fill out is a papyrus. The papyrus is something that can show that you are not able to afford to pay to get the name change, and they'll obviously review it, make sure that it makes sense. Usually they'll grant it, and then they'll push you through the system if the numbers make sense. So that's the way that you save money, that you're not having to pay to get your name changed. Once you do that, they'll summon you to court. They'll call your name and they'll look at the documents. The judge will or the magistrate, and then they'll ask you, okay, what's the reason why you're getting your name changed? All you would need to do essentially is just say that I'm claiming my nationality, and everyone has the right to claim their nationality. Point blank. Keep it simple. Don't go into elaborate details. Keep it pretty simple, and then they'll say okay, and push you through, and then they'll give you a order and grading your name change. Once you have that order, grant order name change, then you'll go to the clerk, and then they'll have it where it's signed off, stamped, and everything. And then you can take that document and then go start updating, certain credentials such as your driver's license, especially if you're in a state where you need to show a DMV license to be able to purchase firearms and things of that nature, or update your social security card and things of that nature. So once you do that, then we can actually get you your EIN and your tax exempt business. So that's actually underneath your Aboriginal name and things of that nature with the dot tax certificate, tax exempt cert, EIN, articles, meeting minutes, and you're good to go. So that's essentially it with the instruction. Then we'll go through just kind of every last one of them. And this is the other sheet that you should also have. Again, it's pretty much the same format. The only thing that, depending on which jurisdiction you're in, it may be a different image, right? But the content is still the same. So this is just general information of where to find certain information, where things are, how to reach out. And if you're in Hawab or whether you're not in Hawab, you can, obviously order replacement IDs and things of that nature, driver's license, if you qualify after the 6 month period of time. And then, or if you want to go through government reparations or ARNA government.org, it's fine either way. We're just letting you know these are the websites that you can go to and things of that nature, right? So, um, so let's talk about this one. Again, this is the Certificate of Indigenous American Tribal Nationality Citizenship. Again, this has your Aboriginal name, has your date of birth. It's already stamped, and it's also sealed already by a jurist. So all you would need to do is sign right here, right? Okay, and you're good to go there. Now let's move on to the Tribal Citizenship Declaration. Again, it has your Aboriginal name, um, and it has all the information that you need to know as far as like being part of a tribal government, just solely just Sanguinius, as well as you're aware and mature of the age of this document being created and what it's being done under and things of that nature, right? So you would need to take this document to a notary. They would sign it and fill out in appropriate places, and then you would sign after they have done their thing, and then you're good to go. Now, the other thing that I want to make sure that you're not getting from any other jurist, because if you are, that shouldn't be the case, is this temporary passport card. We stopped using those. That's already in the protocol manual. Those have been officially canceled since 5/2/2021, okay? Now let's talk about the custodian name change correction document. Again, this is stamped and sealed by us within our jurisdiction to put on the record that you did get a name change within our jurisdiction. So that's important. So we need to keep evidence and things of that nature. So all you would need to do is sign in the appropriate place, and it's already been stamped and sealed and notarized by a jurist. Next is the second page of the name correction. It's the tribal court order. Again, it has all your information in there. All you need to do is make sure to sign with your old name, signature here, and then with your Aboriginal name, signature here. And this is stamped and sealed, and you're done. And you keep this document in a safe place. Okay? So we're going to skip past that. Let's talk about the genealogy certification. Okay? This one is just to state that this is a basic genealogy that was done to make sure that you actually have lineage to the Shiamaru tribe. And also, this is a basic genealogy. We always do them per every person that comes into the tribal government, right? And that you meet the just solely and just sanguineous, which means rights by land and rights by bloodline. So this was already stamped and sealed by a jurist, so there's nothing for you to do. And this goes a little bit more detailed as far as like your title being an Indigenous Minister Ambassador and things of that nature. So what you would need to do is sign with your new name here, and it's already been stamped and sealed by a jurist. Okay. And here's the irrevocable trust. Again, this goes into detail as far as like what it is that are in the agreements. Who's the trustor, who's the beneficiary, who's the trustee, and things of that nature. So again, this is something that you own. All we do within ARNA is to be the trustee to make sure that the transaction happens and is very smoothly from the trustor or grantor to the beneficiary, which is your Aboriginal name. Okay, nothing complicated. So all you need to do is sign with your trustor name here, your old signature, and then with your Aboriginal name in the beneficiary section. And this document is good to go. You're done. It's already been stamped and sealed by a jurist. Keep it in a safe place. Don't just leave it very casually. This is something very important for you to understand, okay? Now let's talk about this birth certificate. Again, this has all your information already filled out. The only thing you would need to do and make sure is to get the address of where your birth certificate was actually documented by, with the live statistics, so where you were born. So you need to put that information in these appropriate places, and then once you do that, you go in front of the notary. You're going to initial here, you're going to initial here, and you're going to initial here, and then you're going to, sign appropriately right here, in front of the notary, and then you're good to go. Now this is the irrevocable trust summary agreement. Again, this is just a summary of the irrevocable trust that you have that we talked about earlier that you keep in a safe place. If people are asking, do you actually have a trust? Yes, you do. Here's the summary of it. All you need to do is sign in the appropriate places, and then you're good to go. This has already been stamped and sealed by a jurist, okay? And then the last thing is the tribal certification of tax exemption entity. Again, this is for your entity that you'll get, once you actually go through the name change. But here's the certification for that states that that entity is actually tax exempt by law, and it points out the specific laws of what exemptions are granting that, right? So this has already been stamped and sealed by a jurist. This is just for your record to keep, okay? And that is really it on that note. The other thing I wanted to mention is I might do another separate video on the credentials and things of that nature. It just depends if YouTube will allow me to without saying that I'm cyberbullying. But On that note, this is really it. Nothing complicated. If you have any other questions about it, feel free to schedule consultation with your jurist or schedule a consultation, with us. It doesn't matter. Or go to governmentreparations.org or arnagovernment.org. It's the same website, or hawapdfw.org. The whole idea is just to make sure that, again, we're just covering these things, even though this has been covered in the rites of passage and previous other videos by Dr. Ali Muhammad, is just to bring some clarity and just to walk you through it, just in case there may be a point where you've forgotten when the jurist has already gone over this stuff with you. Okay? And on that note, family, peace, love y'all, and we'll talk soon.